What's going on, Sagittarius? And welcome to my channel, Alchemist. Justin here, and I hope you're having a phenomenal week so far. So, for those of you who are returning, welcome back, Soul Tribe. I appreciate your subscriptions, your likes, and shares. Your support really is just amazing, Sag. And it keeps us growing. And for those of you who are new, welcome. I'm happy Higher Self has brought you here. We are in for an amazing journey. Because it's General Energy Weekly Spread. Or something like that, Sag. The dance moves are just kind of random. I'm still working on that. But nature my problem. But with this weekly spread, whenever you happen to come across this video, there may be some messages in here for you. And just so you're all aware, this is a general reading, not a one-to-one, so take what resonates with you, leave the rest with me, and never force a reading on a situation, okay? So with all that being said, let's jump into it. Your space has been cleansed. Ow, crystals. Feeling lovely. A little aggressive. Just great energy all around here, Sad. There's a pyramid over here, and I hit my finger on it weird. It's moving on. But with this, what I'm gonna do here, Sagittarius, is pull a few oracle cards from this deck here, and then we will get some details with the tarot. But before we jump into this thing, these readings that I do, they're not gender-specific readings, so apply these energies to people as they make sense for your situations, okay? Thank you. And in case if y'all were curious, the decks that I'm working with, I've included links for them down in the description box below, so definitely check that out if you're interested. But also down below some links for some other readers that I like watching Sag, so definitely check them out. Very intuitive group. I think you'd really enjoy them. But let's get into your first card here. Oh, and look at you, being ready to manifest your universe, because you got the 7th card of Scorpios, which is the universe card. And with this card of source, infinite, unending, enduring, eternal, creation, awakening, interconnected, heaven, higher perspective, the big picture, all that is, creative force, and law of one. And who I like that, Sag. The energy that's coming through here is an awakening, and I dig that. And I feel like maybe for some we are maybe going through this I'm getting like a transitory period, but I'm even getting like transcendence is something that's coming through here. We're ascending, Sag. We're getting ready to level up in a sense. And this maybe we're getting an awakening too, as far as like maybe how we've been going about maybe like our task in life. Maybe that's something we're realizing that something needs to change, or maybe we're having an awakening as far as like maybe our universe or just our world is not quite what we want it to be. And I almost feel like there's this, it feels intense. And I mean, it's no surprise, because considering, Scorpio energy is, they're considered the most intense sign of the Zodiac, and they feel to such a degree. But this feels like it's giving me almost like judgment vibes and it like almost combined here, where it's like, sure, we're going through this evolutionary period, but I feel like there's going to be this catharsis at the end of it. Everything that we've been feeling or been going through to this point is just going to make a lot of sense towards the end. Really thinking about that big picture, which I mean is a big aspect of your sign. To be able to see to such an expansive degree, Sagittarius. And I do feel like that sometimes I feel like with your sign, you are a sign of like higher learning, being Jupiter ruled, higher learning, spirituality. And I feel like that for some, it's like maybe even we're starting to maybe tap into more of that sort of intuitive side of you. And because I mean, your ruler's retrograde right now, and it'll be retrograde to pretty much about the end of the year. I want to say the 30th of December. And so you are in a reflective stage right now, as far as like the things that you've been investing in so far, because Jupiter's in Taurus right now. The material things that you've been investing in right now, or even like the more kind of sensual things, the things we eat, the things that you may listen to, the things that you drink, even, just like I feel like you're in a time of just like seeing if those things are going to be conducive to your growth in the long term, because that's what Jupiter and Taurus is about. I feel like it's very easy with this energy right now to kind of get into sort of like, indulge in more kind of sensual pleasures and things along those lines, whether that's people, alcohol, drugs, whatever that's looking like. Any things that make you kind of food, anything that makes you kind of feel good. But I feel like we're not looking for those temporary releases. We're looking to invest in things that are going to, that are contributing to your kind of like your Ten of Pentacles, your big, the grander scheme of things. And maybe that's what's been, if we've been maybe been struggling as of late, or just been having like a hard time, that there is the reason for that is there a need to kind of journey within, to kind of slow down with your ruler being retrograde, and just kind of ask yourself these kind of internal questions, and to just kind of go within there, Sagittarius. But let's get some tarot on this and get some details. Card, Sag. Thank you. And let's see what's going on here. Oh, there. Come on now. I'm with it. So, Sagittarius, you have the Three of Wands, the Four of Wands, the Five of Cups, the Ace of Cups, and then the Art card, Temperance card. And so this is definitely, this reading is all about you. But I really do feel that there is this energy of asking yourself, are you in balance? Are you really resonating with things that fill up all your cups? Are we staying true? Because the Three of Wands can kind of signify this. I'm getting like a long journey that's coming on through this energy. And I feel like that maybe for some, we've been not necessarily disappointed in ourselves. I am getting that for some here. But there's this energy of, there's this like this emotional kind of turmoil that's kind of happening, this upheaval that's sort of going on here. And it feels like that we haven't been able to, like, it doesn't feel like we've been able to celebrate anything for a while, that maybe we haven't been in our, like, I don't know, been able to manifest the way that we want to, able to get things that really kind of speak to us, or that really, I may need to get a little bit more with this Ace of Cups here, but it almost feels like that our cup is kind of run dry here, Sagittarius. And there's a need to, again, to just sort of go within and find the source of that. What's keeping you from getting the things, or attracting even the things that you want in your life here. But let me get a little bit more on this Ace of Cups. Oh shoot. Hold on. Yes. Some 78 card pickup here, Sagittarius. Hold on. Okay. Thank you. Interesting. Okay, so the Ace of Cups here is clarified by the Queen of Wands. And there does feel that there hasn't been this I almost feel like there hasn't been anything that has made you like truly been like kind of maybe fulfilling our passions as of late. It's just like the energy has gotten kind of stagnant, and maybe we've even gotten a little mean seems a little harsh, but like maybe we've gotten kind of short with others, possibly because the Queen of Wands, when she's not vibing like she wants, when she's not following her heart's desires, she can be, she's a feisty, feisty queen, and and I'm, she's got a lot of heat, and I feel like, you being a fire sign there, Sagittarius, sometimes your sign can be a blunt one, and where I feel like that honesty is great, but I do feel like for some it's just like maybe it's just we've been kind of more kind of lashing out as opposed to being that sort of like wise one that you normally are there, Sagittarius. And it I feel like that again, if we're not getting where we're, how do I want to put this, if it feels that we're not following our heart's desires or that we're not feeling fulfilled in some area of our life, is what is it, what is it that we can do to kind of bring this stuff back into balance here? Because I feel, after your card is the devil, and even before your card is Scorpio's card, the death card. Something needs to change. And so yeah, just something to, I feel like, to really kind of think about there, Sagittarius. All right. Let's get some more on this. Let's look at you coming through in a strong way. Sagittarius, even just thinking how, so that's the first that that's happened, that I've had the deck kind of fallen. It didn't scatter all over the place, but the fact that it fell period, it just feels like that maybe there's just things kind of feel just kind of all over the place, that we're just kind of falling apart in a sense. It's a little something to think about. But so you got the second card of Pisces here, which is a Flamingos card. And with this card, this is a card of soulmates, lovers, union, courtship, dating, attraction, seduce, long-term potential, displays of affection, charm, it factor, two of a kind, alluring, and je ne sais quoi. And the energy that's coming through here, Sagittarius, is the attraction. Now, this can be for some, if we are looking for love there, and maybe we haven't quite found the person that we are. I don't know, maybe we've been kind of, or maybe we've had like a string of disappointments as of late, or just haven't quite found that one where it feels like that there's that reciprocity there, that emperor to your empress, or that however that may be looking, or maybe even we haven't quite, maybe you Queen of Wands energy, we haven't quite found that King of Wands. You know, I'm feeling a couple of things with that. I feel like one, it is kind of going back to that there might be this awakening that's needing to happen. If we've noticed a trend in things, where I'm not saying that the people that have come into your life, don't have any sort of blame or anything to how they may have treated you or how they may have acted, but it's like, what can we learn from how we contributed to the relationship as well? There's Sagittarius, were there any sort of red flags that we didn't notice, or what that may be looking like? There's just kind of maybe need to kind of pause for a second, kind of maybe be single here with the Queen of Wands and just kind of figure that thing out. But I'm also kind of getting with this energy of just being aware of just where your vibration's at, because that can be a big idea of what you're attracting as well, whether this be in a love relationship or just in life in general. Because the tricky thing with being Jupiter ruled is, and just Jupiter energy in general, where it is abundant and it can bring about luck and things like that. It just, Jupiter doesn't discriminate between what kind of luck, what thing you're getting in abundance of. If you're operating in a low vibration, then that's what's going to expand. Your energy brings more of things. And so we do want to be mindful of just where we're operating at. And I do feel there's a need to, again, kind of take stock and just to kind of figure out what's going on, what is it that we are kind of truly manifesting and pulling in towards our direction here. But let's get another, or let's get some tarot on this. Oh, there's your ruler. All right, Sagittarius. You see what I'm talking about? Because you got the Nine of Disc here, the Fortune card, the Wheel of Fortune, and then you got the Chariot. Let's talk about the Chariot. Because I do feel that there is this. For some, I'm getting like how we were talking about that attraction earlier and how we may be paying attention to what we're kind of pulling in. Because the Chariot card is Cancer energy. And Cancer is a we're a very emotional sign. My sun sign's in Cancer. And what we're feeling is what we do, what we pull in. You know, that's how some of our energy, well, one aspect of our energy works. And I feel like it's when we get kind of caught, and this is for not just for Cancer, for all of us, you know, when we do get caught up in a particular type of feeling, or that maybe there's a side of ourselves that we may be ignoring. There's this energy here of, you know, there's, I feel like if we're feeling these things, there's something that's needing to be worked on. And you know, especially if this is something to deal with love, you know, the Nine of Discs can be a card of kind of working on yourself, you know, kind of focusing on your growth. This is, you know, you coming into your Empress energy. This is Venus and Virgo. And I feel that if we found ourselves kind of stuck in a cycle or stuck somewhere where, you know, where just it doesn't feel that we're getting what, if we feel like that the universe in a sense is not giving us the abundance that we want, there's a need to, there is a need to, yeah, do some shadow work is what I'm feeling. And 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 find out what it is. I like find the source of, because my, because one thing to think about too, Sagittarius, when we're kind of thinking about, even let's just say with love, for example, it's hard to pull in love when we may not have that love for ourselves. You know, when there may be aspects of ourselves that we might be ignoring, or we might not deem as, you know, those kind of those darker aspects of ourselves. Because in order, I feel like, to be able to love someone wholly and fully, and it's not that you won't find love in this, that there's this need to work on loving ourselves as well. You know, make sure that there is that balance. You know, let me get a little bit more on your ruler here. Let me see what's going on with the Fortune card. And there's the universe. So the Wheel of Fortune is clarified by the universe and the Princess of Cups, and the universe is the World card there, Sagittarius. And so I feel that the Princess of Cups, she's a very giving figure. And I feel like it's this energy is kind of saying, you know, what you're giving to the universe is what you're going to get back for some. And I feel like if we're in this sort of lower vibration right now, if that's all we're giving is sort of this kind of negative energy that's kind of coming off there, then that's what we're going to attract an abundance of, and that's going to keep you stuck, Sagittarius. But I do feel like that there is this realization with that. You know, we're starting to notice some trends here, considering we got this awakening here. And I'm almost even getting kind of like, for some it's like this hanged man situation, but maybe we're not quite sure how to get out of that, maybe, or it's been more of a struggle than we had anticipated, maybe. But just because it is something that is hard to do, Sagittarius, sometimes, especially if this has been a way we've been operating for a while, that doesn't mean it's impossible. Because I feel like sometimes we can get a little focused on how hard the growth can be, that we can forget how, I hope this makes sense, of like how beneficial it can be in the long run. It just feels like that there's this, it's like the higher forces here, your higher self, your spirit guides, however you connect to source, is trying to show you, like, I'm even getting like kind of like a strong sort of like law of attraction type of energy that's coming through here. And and I even feel like, just considering that the Princess of Cups came in with love, maybe for some it's just we tend to give too much, or maybe there's this, we've just kind of allowed maybe others to just kind of take and take and take, and then to not have these kind of healthy boundaries in between there. But all right, Sagittarius, I think I'm gonna pull out that one. But some deep energy here that's coming through. But let's get your last oracle card. Interesting. All right, Sagittarius. So you have the third card of Virgos here, which is the chess card. And with this card, this is a card of strategy, planning, game, checkmate, grand design, thinking ahead, tactics, moves and counter moves, master plan, course of action, power play, game theory, and consequences of actions. So a couple energies coming through here, Sagittarius. You have the master plan and the consequences of actions. And I feel that there is a need to just, again, pay attention to how you've been operating, maybe, especially if we've been feeling this sort of, been feeling in this kind of low vibration as of late. And because I feel that, and listen, it doesn't, I'm not, it's not to say that because, if we find ourselves stuck in things, that it's, we're not going to get to this level of abundance, but it is paying attention to how this does affect, how your actions and things do affect you in the again, in the grand scheme of things. I mean, you got the universe twice, how this really kind of paints your world. And I feel like both the positive and the negative type of energies there. And because no matter what we do, there are always consequences. Again, it really is just depending on where you are vibing at. But both those energies are needed in order for things to run in harmony. There's needs to be that because look at your card here, the art card. It's the culmination of or the combination of opposite energies. In the Lover's card, this tiger used to be red and this eagle used to be white, and then those two have switched energies. And even two, there's I'm thinking of one card in one of the Astro Matrix deck where it has Scorpio and Leo on there, water and fire energies, and that's what this person's building together. These energies, this dark and light energy, it's all and it's all coming together, and it's like finding that balance, that harmony, that where everything is resonant, that emperor and empress energy, that to know that these situations and things are not meant to, even when we're feeling at a lower spot there, it's not meant to keep you down. It's just meant to help balance you out, and to help you grow and to learn and expand, which is what Jupiter, the Wheel of Fortune, is all about there. But let's get your Get your last tarot cards on this. And there's that Ten of Pentacles. I'm with it. So you have the Ten of Pentacles, Ten of Discs, Pentacles, same thing. Ten of Disc, the Queen of Disc, and then the Nine of Swords here, Sag. Let's switch back over. Because I feel like for some, maybe we've been in this sort of like... Because the Nine of Swords is a very intense card. You know, maybe we've been kind of beating ourselves up. Maybe we've been feeling kind of disappointed with where life is. You know, trying to figure out, you know, just... And it feels like that for some, there's this blame that may be kind of going down. It's just like, well, why? What did I do to get here? You know, am I ever going to get to this place of stability, or, you know, getting to where plans are coming to fruition, or just feeling that we're on the right track, even just thinking with the Chariot there. But it almost feels like with the Queen of Disc that it's like she's kind of, and this is the first that I've thought that, like, it feels like that maybe for some we've been kind of looking out at this sort of like our I don't know, kind of looking out at this almost this empty field here, and just like having this sense of just really like lost, really just sort of this blank kind of like not really sure where to go next or what to do with these situations, or these I almost want to say like skills or gifts that you have. And it gives me almost this sort of lost energy. But I feel that I remember listening to someone, and I liked how they put this. It's not, especially if that's something that resonated with you, if we feel kind of lost, it's not that we're lost, Sagittarius, is that we're on a journey of self-discovery. You know, we're trying to find ourselves in a sense. You know, we kind of came in this journey kind of not sure what's been going on, trying to gather all the things that we've learned in past lives and trying to figure out how to navigate in this space. And you know, it all comes together in the end there. It's all, I feel like this even these experiences right now, again, they're all part of the master plan, as far as like, you know, what is to get you to this end game here. Because look at that, you went from 9 of this to 10 of this, so we're gonna get moving along here. It's just like right now we're in a learning cycle right now. Things have kind of slowed down a little bit, and this gives you a chance to reflect and just kind of figure out what's where your intuition, where your guides are trying to lead you there. So just kind of tune into that, Sagittarius. And I feel like as the retrogrades all start to lift up, things are going to start making more sense. But I think I'm going to leave that there. So if anything resonated with you, you know, if you like that, give it a thumbs up and share the Sagittarius, because this feels like that there's this very kind of heavy sort of like law of attraction, and you know, just sort of this realization that maybe you've been feeling kind of out of control of where, or maybe you know someone who's been feeling kind of out of control of where their life is going in. But and then if you haven't already, subscribe, hit that bell button, get notified when I release videos each week. And then lastly, Sagittarius, let's switch gears a little bit, because look at you, getting the hottest ticket to come over to my other channel. Not that you need it, but if you have any Cancer in your placement, Sun, Moon, Rising, Jupiter, come on over to the Sheridan, friends. I do videos Monday through Friday there. We discuss lunar shenanigans, and it's a good old time. And all that housekeeping is down in the description box below. But let me get you surprise cards here, so I can get you out of here. And you got the Prince of Swords here. And, you know, with the Prince of Swords, you know, the princes in this deck, they represent air, and then the swords, of course, represent air. So he's the airy part of air. So he's thinking a lot. And I feel like that maybe for some, I feel like with you being as a sign, you know, such a a sign of higher learning and things that you've probably been really thinking a lot. The brain has been turning as of late as far as like thinking these bigger questions. And am I really doing where, am I on my right path? Is this what I want to do? Is, just why, what is the purpose? Just those really kind of deep, kind of bigger questions there, those philosophical type of ones. And sometimes I feel when the Prince of Swords does he really get kind of caught up in his air energy, he's all over the place. And because those are real kind of deep things, and those stuff that we need to kind of meditate on. And we may never completely know the answers to all of this stuff in this moment, but it all makes sense in the grand scheme of things there, Sag. But let me get your oracle card so I can get you out of here. Thank you. Interesting. Alright, so you got the 35th card, which is the Loyal Heart card. And I do feel like with this, if we I do feel like that there is some love that can come in this Sagittarius. There's a little sprinkle of love in here, but I feel that that in order to attract maybe that soulmate type of love that we're maybe trying to get to, or there's a need to be loyal to, not loyal to ourselves. Well, yeah, be loyal to ourselves, but trusting in the journey, and trusting in that these experiences and things that they're leading you towards your higher vibration. They're trying to get you towards manifesting your universe, because again you got two universes here that you're working with, Sagittarius. But and that's interesting. Even as I'm saying that, it's just I feel that there's, once we kind of find that balance within, bringing both, it's like one universe is like trying to conflict with another, and like the two are trying to, it's like they're on different pages here. And it feels like that they're, once we can get those energies kind of integrated into one, then things just start to just align up and really kind of come into balance. And there is that sense of the art card, Temperance, you just becoming one. I'm getting even kind of like, your opposite sign, Gemini, like the lover's energy, because I was talking about earlier with that. It's real cool what I feel like is kind of coming through here, Sagittarius. But it's gonna take some work for sure, but I feel like it's all coming together. But you stay safe out there, Sagittarius. Think about all these big old questions and philosophizing and things, and maybe this is something to talk about with someone, kind of, because that's a lot of weight to kind of carry. And sometimes just getting those concerns and things out there can kind of, and maybe someone can bring a perspective that you hadn't thought about. So you raise your vibration through the roof. Do some self-care. Be compassionate with yourself. We don't have to have this all figured out in a day, but it's just, reflecting and just kind of listening, and then things, again, just kind of fall into place as they make sense. And I will catch you on the next one. Later.